Plans to demolish an existing dorm with a brand new replacement. The migrant crisis in Texas reaches a boiling point, and hear how students are getting registered to vote on campus. You're watching OU Nightly. Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Addie Crawford.
And I'm Stone Weber. We begin tonight with an announcement from OU that a classic campus dorm has met its end date. After over a year of discussion, the OU Board of Regents has made a decision on Adams Tower. OU Nightly's Bella Roddy is live outside of Adams Tower with the details. Bella?
That's right, guys. This building right behind me has been riddled with complaints for years. But in just a few months, all of this will be gone. The infamous Adams Tower is coming down. Built in 1964, the 4 separate towers were created to make up the Adams Center. But this week, the OU Board of Regents approved a demolition date for the building and set it for summer of 2023. This comes as a surprise to many students because the demolition has been in conversation since 2019. After a flood in 2019 that caused over $12,000 in damages, students' vents being covered in black mold, windows breaking, temperatures reaching over 100 degrees in rooms, and RAs going missing. It's safe to say students aren't too upset to see it go.
If mold is that prevalent of an issue in the tower, that we should be tearing down the other 2 towers as well.
I know it's pretty old, so maybe it's time.
And signs on all 4 tower doors explain that the area is contaminated by asbestos. And yet, workers entering and exiting the building wear no face coverings at all. President Harris stated that the Walker Tower is next, followed eventually by Couch, and that these demolitions are all a part of the university's strategic plan to increase incoming freshman class sizes. As far as Couch and Walker dorms are concerned, the OU Board of Regents have not set a date for their demolition. Reporting live, Bella Roddy, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Bella. And Addie, the heat has been relentless these past couple of days.
Stone, you are so right. Brayden Siau is here to tell us how long the heat will hang around. Brayden?
Yeah, guys, it is definitely a hot one out there today. Take a look at these temperatures across the state right now. We're sitting in the mid to upper 90s, and look at Muskogee approaching 100 degrees. So it's definitely a scorcher out there. But this breeze is kind of helping just a little bit to keep it from being excruciating. And then whenever we look at the weather headlines, we were talking about these near record temperatures, a cold front later this week, and the first day of fall forecast that Josh will have coming up later on in the show. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Brayden. Voter registration is on the rise in the state, and OU organizations are helping out. Setups can be found across OU's campus in the Union, South Oval, and the Walker and Adams Mall. Organizations on campus like the Housing Center Student Association want to help every voice be heard. We spoke with the president of the HCSA, who had some encouraging words for potential voters still on the fence.
I want viewers to know how important this is, but at the same time how easy it is. It takes about 2 minutes to do. You're not tied down to anything. You don't have to vote if you register, but it gives you that first step to accessibility in politics.
And if you want to vote in Oklahoma in the November election, you have to register by October 20th.
A Texas sheriff says he thinks laws were broken and is opening an investigation into the Martha's Vineyard flight arranged by Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Mike Valerio has the latest.
The outrage from Bexar County Sheriff Javier Salazar was clear as he announced his investigation into the Martha's Vineyard migrants flight.
I believe that they were preyed upon. Somebody came from out of state, preyed upon these people, lured them with promises of a better life, which is what they were absolutely looking for.
A Venezuelan man at a migrant resource center in San Antonio said he was approached to help fill a flight out of Texas, offered a deal for free food and a free hotel, a deal he thought that was too good to be true. Stop doing it, the man said. If you're going to help people, do it out of your heart. Don't utilize us immigrants. We don't want to be used as toys in your political games. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis defended his actions.
They were hungry, homeless. They had no opportunity at all. The state of Florida, it was volunteer, offered transport to sanctuary jurisdictions.
It all comes as the U.S. has intercepted more than 2 million migrants along the southern border, driven by influxes of people from Nicaragua, Venezuela, and Cuba. Texas says it's bused more than 11,000 migrants to Washington, D.C., Chicago, and New York.
We opened up 23 emergency shelters. We're not going to leave any stone unturned.
At least 9 buses reached New York City this weekend, carrying more than 1,000 asylum seekers. The city is now considering temporary housing for migrants aboard cruise ships, as migrants are found permanent housing and jobs. I'm Mike Valerio reporting.
The governor says he did nothing wrong, but more migrants are saying they were misled, as the U.S. is setting new records for migrants entering the country.
And 47 people are being charged for allegedly stealing from a pandemic program. Amaya Ward has that and the rest of today's headlines from around the world in News Center.
It is being called the largest COVID-19 related fraud scheme uncovered to date. Today, the Justice Department announced charges against 47 people who they say stole from a pandemic program meant to provide meals to needy children. Prosecutors say they claim to feed thousands of children every day, but they instead use more than $250 million to buy luxury cars, real estate, jewelry, and to fund international trips. The Federal Emergency Management Agency Chief Deanne Criswell traveled to Puerto Rico today to meet with local officials and assess the damage from Hurricane Fiona. Fiona reached a maximum wind speeds of 115 miles per hour this morning. Officials in Puerto Rico hope to restore power in a matter of days to the majority of residents, but rescue efforts continue to be impacted across the island. And North Carolina is one step closer to hosting the World University Games in 2027. Today, Governor Roy Cooper signed a proclamation officially expressing the state's desire and ability to host the Games. The event is the second largest international athletic competition after the Olympics. However, the state won't know whether it won the bid until November. Every branch of the U.S. military has its own official song, and now the newest branch of the U.S. Space Force, created in 2019, has one too. It was unveiled at a conference in Maryland today. Back to you guys.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to check out that new song. Thanks, Amaya. When OU Nightly returns, some Norman residents are rethinking their daily routines.
We'll tell you how community members are protecting themselves.
And NASA's newest gadget helped find a unique perspective.
We'll show you the latest views of a very distinct planet when we come back.
Women around the country are left rethinking their daily routines after a Memphis woman was abducted on her morning jog. OU Nightly's Cameron Joyner caught up with some members of the community to find out what women are doing to protect themselves.
Abby Mays loves to run.
I grew up playing soccer my whole life.
But Mays says that now she feels limited.
Because of the safety issue in today's world, I just choose to run inside now.
While she prefers outdoor running, she says the risk just isn't worth it.
Oh, I need pepper spray. Oh, I might need a little knife to put in my pocket, or some form of protection just for me to simply go run outside.
And she isn't alone.
OU's campus offers the perfect environment for students to get outside and do what they love, like going for a walk or a jog. However, some students say they don't feel safe anymore. And following the Eliza Fletcher case, many people, especially women, are opting to move their workouts indoors, or to come to places like this, where they can learn the art of self-defense.
And you get your power from turning.
I walk prepared to defend myself if that's what I have to do.
Eliza Fletcher's story is a personal one for Laura Miller.
That could have been me a long time ago.
She says she had her own experience.
About a year ago, I was getting gas at the gas station, and a man pulled in directly behind me.
She described the encounter as uncomfortable and as a wake-up call.
I know now what to do if someone grabs me from behind. And I know what to do if someone grabs me from the side.
The owner of Conion's Academy says these are skills that everyone should have. But he also says that awareness is key.
Look who's around. If you see a strange guy walking around that don't belong there, that's your tuition telling something's wrong.
And Miller says women need to take charge of their own protection.
There are actually a lot of things you can do to help yourself. You don't have to be like I was.
Bottom line, be aware and be prepared. Reporting in Norman, Cameron Joyner, OU Nightly.
If you want to sign up for a self-defense class, go to ConanAcademy.com.
One of the country's largest retail companies allows you to try on clothes from anywhere. Summer Miller has that story and more in Science and Technology.
Thanks, Stone. NASA's newest space telescope recently observed one of the brightest objects in the sky, Mars. The James Webb Space Telescope captured its first images of the red planet using infrared capabilities, revealing features like dark volcanic rock and 2 of its massive impact craters. Along with land rovers and orbiters, scientists say the data collected by the telescope reveals a unique perspective of the planet. Walmart is upgrading its fashion game with its new in-app feature. The retail corporation is now using Zeekit to maximize the virtual fitting room experience for customers shopping through the app. The Be Your Own Model feature allows shoppers to see how the clothing fits their body. With the option to upload a photo of themselves, the customer can also select a model of their choice to see the clothing on. And Instacart announced Monday plans its first ever connected stores. The grocery ordering platform plans to combine in-store shopping and online shopping. The stores will provide a chance to move between the app and a physical store. Instacart says its first location will open in Irvine, California. And speaking of grocery shopping, you might see a new piece of produce on your next trip to the store, a purple tomato packed with antioxidants. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Summer. Coming up, inflation is causing OU students to pay the price, quite literally.
Hear from an OU student affected by campus food prices.
And the first day of fall is fast approaching.
Josh, are we going to get a break from these hot temperatures and see some fall weather this weekend?
Well, we do have a scorching hot weather continuing over the next couple of days, but yes, some slight relief is on the way for the first day of fall. We'll take a look at that forecast for Thursday coming up after the break. Good evening. Thanks for joining us here on a Tuesday afternoon. It is sizzling across the state of Oklahoma. Check out these current temperatures. We've got 90s across much of the state, mid to upper 90s at that. It's 96 right now in Norman, 97 the current temperature in Lawton. Miami checking in at 98 degrees. So yeah, we're a couple days away from the start of fall, but it is certainly not feeling like it here right on through the start of the week, and that's going to continue to be the case for tomorrow. Check out your forecast. We're already up to 75 by 8 o'clock in the morning, 94 by noon, and once again topping out in the upper 90s Wednesday afternoon with lots of sunshine and southwest winds, a bit breezy at 5 to 15 miles per hour. So here's a look at Futurecast. Again, a mostly sunny sky tomorrow. It is going to be very hot once again during the afternoon. And then we track a cold front coming into the state tomorrow night into early Thursday. There's a slight chance of a few scattered showers and thunderstorms across far northern Oklahoma. Most places will stay dry with this cold front. The impact is going to be some slightly cooler temperatures. So here we are, well above average tomorrow. Then as that cold front swings through, it turns much colder in Kansas, but it kind of weakens as it gets down to Oklahoma. So we're just looking at slightly cooler temperatures coming up for Thursday. Highs in the 80s across Oklahoma. The cooler air, fall-like weather for the first day of fall, 60s and 70s. That stays to our north for Thursday. Again, first day of fall, still going to be feeling pretty hot around Oklahoma. And checking out temperatures beyond that, we're going to rebound right back up into the mid to upper 90s for Friday and Saturday. Another cold front cools us down just a little bit, but still above average through the next 7 days. Live look outside here at the campus camp shows a mostly sunny sky. Current temperature 97 degrees, and overnight tonight lows will be in the low to mid 70s, well above average for this time of year. Your Wednesday forecast, again, lots of heat. 95 will be the high in Oklahoma, or actually we're going for a forecast high of 98 for Oklahoma City, which is expected to break the record for your Wednesday. And checking out your 7-day forecast now, We're looking at, again, a slightly cooler day coming up on Thursday. Then we're right back to the heat for Friday and Saturday, then a slightly cooler early next week. Stone and Addie, back to you.
Josh, over the past year, inflation has been felt all over the state. Many students were surprised to see some OU dining options had been hit as well. OU Food Services state that food and paper costs have increased 26% in the last 2 years. Students with and without meal plans are feeling the pain in their pockets.
Like, as a college student, there's a lot that I already have to pay for, certain expenses. So having to add food is just another thing I have to worry about. And it was kind of out of nowhere, so that kind of sucks too.
To help combat the rise in prices, OU Food Services has also increased the value of a meal exchange to $10. And with OU's move to the SEC in 2025, scheduling for the Sooners is going to look a little different.
Brigg Bates has more in sports. Brigg, what's the latest?
Well, guys, one of college football's oldest in-state rivalries is experiencing a change. And a former OU star dominated on the field for Monday Night Football. Sports is next. Welcome back to OU Nightly. I'm Brigg Bates, and it's time for sports. Every great rivalry has a great opponent. Coke has Pepsi, Apple has Android, and Oklahoma has Oklahoma State. The Oklahoma Sooners and the Oklahoma State Cowboys in-state rivalry, known as Bedlam, met for the first time in 1904. They have battled it out on the field 116 times, yet it is the most lopsided rivalry in college football history. OU Nightly Sports' Hallie Moss explains the current situation surrounding the Bedlam rivalry.
Conference realignment has claimed yet another rivalry. With OU headed to the SEC in 2025, the annual Bedlam matchup between OU and OSU has been in question. But today, we got our answer. Sooners Athletic Director Joe Castiglione, as well as Oklahoma State's Athletic Director, confirmed to Brett McMurphy at Action Network that the rivalry will not continue and they are moving on. OU head coach Brent Venables found out today during his press conference.
I didn't hear that. So I love rivalry games for all the right reasons. So if that's what they've decided to do, that's what they've decided to do. My opinion really doesn't matter. But I love rivalry games for all the reasons. People have a deep, genuine investment in their school and take incredible pride. And so what that does in those environments is really cool.
The Bedlam series began in 1904, making Bedlam the nation's second longest uninterrupted college football rivalry. Castiglione said Oklahoma State has shown no interest in keeping that rivalry on the field, but both schools are confident that the Bedlam series will remain in every other sport except for football. Reporting from Oklahoma Memorial Stadium, Hallie Moss, OU Nightly.
Big 12 conference play kicks off this weekend for the Sooners as Kansas State heads south for Saturday's matchup. Sooners wide receiver Theo Weiss has what to expect from the Wildcats this weekend.
Well coached, very disciplined. They got a lot of experience in their front seven, and they just give great effort every play. They're gonna play hard all the way to the last snap, no matter the score. So we got a lot of respect for them.
Primetime Monday Night Football kicked off last night between the Eagles and the Vikings. Former OU quarterback Jalen Hurts delivered the Philly special with 300-plus passing yards, 80% completion rate, and rushed for multiple touchdowns, making him the first player in NFL history to do so. The Eagles flew home with the win 24-7. And don't forget, OU softball fall season tickets are on sale, and you do not want to miss the reigning national champions.
I definitely don't want to miss out on that. Thanks, Brigg.
And up next, a heartwarming reunion between two World War II veterans.
Stick around to see the unique bond the two share.
I'm Snow Forth at the OU Nightly Update Desk. A judge prohibits Alabama from executing a death row inmate by lethal injection on Thursday. The inmate, Alan Eugene Miller, requested to use nitrogen hypoxia, but Alabama officials say they are not ready to use the method. The judge ordered Miller to not be executed by lethal injection because he would be deprived of the ability to die by the method he chose. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Snow. Stone, you're never too old to make a friend.
That's right, Addie, and that's especially true for World War veterans Myron and Ray.
The veterans were both in the same infantry regiment back in 1945. 77 years later, the men reunite.
They bonded over shared memories of what they went through and those who lost their lives.
We are so thankful for them and everyone serving our country. And Josh, let's see a last look at the weather.
Yeah, here we go. Your 7-day forecast. 98 is your high tomorrow. 10 degrees cooler on Thursday, and then we warm right back up. 97 Saturday. It's still going to be warm for the football game, even though that's at night. And then we should bring in some 80s for next week. Back to you.